The 7 Deadly Mistakes That Inventors Make by Shine Enterprise.
Welcome to the 7 Deadly Mistakes That Inventors Make, your free video series from Shine Enterprise. My name is Jethro. I'm known as the captain of Shine Enterprise and the director of Shine and the creator of the 7 Deadly Mistakes. I'm an inventor like yourself, a product designer, and an elite patent specialist, and I'm here to guide you and mentor you through the process. If you come to this place, it's because you've been asking the question, what is the inventor exploitation industry that's been going on for decades and poses a huge instant risk right now to you and your invention? In this deadly mistake, you're going to find out who the sorcerer is, the most dangerous character at the start of the inventor's journey. The sorcerer has cast a spell, a dark spell, over the whole world of invention development. He lords over a company you could call an empire that turns over more than $50 million a year from inventors and people with ideas like you. And such is the strength of this spell that he's cast that he does all of this with a model that has a less than 1 in 1,000 success rate at generating profit for inventors. Yes, I said 1 in 1,000. That is the strength and spell of what's going on here. So in this deadly mistake, you're going to find out who the sorcerer is, and we're going to look at 2 videos from 2 different invention development or promotion companies. On the one hand, we've got Davidson, and we're going to see a video from their founder and chief, George Davidson, otherwise known as Mr. D. You're going to see a video of him in action with a promotional video their company shows to inventors. We're also then going to look at another company called InventHelp, and you're going to see a video from someone that you will know very well, George Foreman, the former heavyweight champion boxer of the world, someone who worldwide is known in very good terms, being someone who puts out a lot of positive things in life. You're going to see a promotional video from them, and in both cases, we're going to see their videos live on YouTube, and you might be able to see these videos on their website as well. So these are all freely available publicly. What I'm then going to do after I show you each video is I'm going to take you through their figures on screen personally. And the reason I can do that is that these companies, especially in America, are subject to certain laws, and they have to disclose their figures to inventors who are going to enter into business agreements or pay them for certain things. So we're going to look at those on screen, and I'm going to show you what those mean. So we've got Mr. D, George Foreman, and the captain. There are some serious characters in this room, but only one can be the last man standing. Let's see who that's going to be. InventHelp, I got no use for you, I'll deal with you later. Let's start with Davidson, who also sometimes trade under the name Invention Land, and a promotional video from their founder, Mr. D.
Everyone has an idea. It's the American dream to invent a better product that everyone needs and to get it in front of a corporation that pays royalties when products sell in stores.
I'm Mr. D, and I'm an idea guy and an owner of a company who gets new ideas every year from people just like you.
Mr. D is an inventor, an entrepreneur. Our company works with everyday people that have invention ideas. Our inventors submit their ideas to our team, which builds them into products in our one-of-a-kind factory. People like you come to us, and for over 25 years, we have helped their ideas come to life. Our factory is filled with Mr. D's talented friends. They are the creationeers.
Our team designs, engineers, and builds these ideas into product samples.
Much of the action at Davidson takes place in our factory, a creative wonderland that processes thousands of our inventors' ideas every year. Some of these are sold across the world by home shopping networks, catalogs, chain stores, and internet outlets. The reward of watching our clients' ideas come to life is what we experience every day.
Who knows? The next idea you see in stores could be yours. Just fill in that confidentiality agreement and then click the submit button, and let's get this thing started.
Okay, so that's a promotional video from Davidson, which is currently available on YouTube and also on their website. What I want to do right now is go through the figures with you, but I do realize that you might have a lot that you've got on right now, and we are going to go through these in quite a lot of detail. It'll take 10 to 15 minutes. I really heavily recommend you watch this because it is staggering and you will never have seen anything like what you're about to see right now. It's going to be a seminal moment. But if you don't have time, if you're watching on YouTube, either on YouTube or on a YouTube player, what I'll try to do is do a summary of their figures just in about 30, 45 seconds after we've gone through them. And if you have a limited amount of time available to you right now, you can click on the link you see. If I can't put a link in which takes you to that moment in the video, what I'll do is I'll put a little notice on the video right now of the time in this video where that quick summary is shown, and that will allow you to just go through the player and go to that exact time and get these figures quickly. But if you do have time, I really recommend you watch this with me right now because it is quite staggering. So let's go through the figures of Davidson, their disclosure figures on screen right now, and I'll take you through that. Take a look. Quick change of plan. I actually want to go through these figures very, very quickly. So what I'm going to do is go through the summary with you. If you want to go through the full 15-minute version of going through Davidson's figures in detail, you'll see that video in your related video section in this deadly mistake. So if you're on the Inventors Journey website, you can go to that related video section. If you're watching this video on YouTube, I'll put a link on screen right now. And if you want to go through the very detailed 15-minute version of Davidson's figures, you can click that link on screen right now and go straight to the official deadly mistake #1 page on the Inventors Journey website. So let's go through the summary version very quickly. I'll take you through this. Okay, so what you're looking at on screen right now is the figures of Davidson. I've saved these as screen captures, and you'll look at them as saved screen captures on screen. Just to show you exactly how this works, if I actually Google Davidson and try to get to their website, if I then go onto their website and I click on this Submit Your Idea link, it will then take me to a new page, and you can see on that page, you can see the video which you've just seen on the left hand side. That's the one we've just gone through. And then on the right hand side of the page, you can see this disclosure form where you can disclose your idea and submit it. And at the bottom of the form, near the Submit Your Idea button, you'll see it says step 1 of 3. So once you click that button and fill it out, you're then going to come to these, what you see on screen now. So on the left-hand side, the screen capture I've saved is, as you can see, it says step 2 of 3. And this is where you're going to see certain figures about Davidson's business and model that are disclosed to you, that they have to disclose to you before you move forward with them. So the first one on the left is some of their figures about the numbers of inventors that have disclosed. And then on the right-hand side, this is the next page. Once you check the checkbox on the left-hand page and go and move through to the next one, on the right hand side is the next page where they talk about how much they charge for these services that they charge for, and what the services provide to you. So by going through both of these pages together and looking at the amount of inventors that pay for the services and the charge of how much they cost, we can actually get a very good estimate for how much Davidson are turning over in the 5-year period. You can see these figures, they range from May the 30th, 2014, and these are the 5 years of business leading up to that date. So let's take a look and go through these. So in summary, in the last 5 years of trading preceding May the 30th, 2014, Davidson received 794,508 disclosures from inventors and people with ideas. 59,229 of those bought what they call a pre-development agreement, which includes a patent search type service for $795. Times the customer number and the price together, and this service alone turned over $47,087,055 in that 5 years. 18,114 customers went on to buy a new product sample agreement, which typically includes Davidson designing and preparing a prototype or preparing design images for presentation. Davidson's figures state that the fee for this typically ranges from $8,000 to $15,000. Taking an average of those two figures of $11,500 and timesing by the 18,114 who bought that service, we can estimate that that service alone turned over $311,000 in that 5 years. Add those two services together, and Davidson have turned over more than $250 million from people like yourself in these 5 years, making it more than $50 million per year on average. This does not include various other services that Davidson charged for, and the total may be far higher than this. In all that 5 years, with more than $250 million turned over from inventors like you, Davidson's figures state that only 16 customers made more money than they spent with Davidson. Take your success rate from the 18,114 that paid the average $8,000 to $15,000 for invention development services. That gives Davidson a success rate of generating profit for inventors of less than 1 in 1,000. The actual success rate is 0.088%, less than 0.1%. In fact, if you take the success rate including the people that paid for the first $795 service, the success rate is far lower than that, about 1 in 3,700. The last figure is perhaps the most shocking. In the company's history since 1989, a full 25 years, Davidson's figures state that out of all their tens of thousands, or maybe hundreds of thousands of customers, only 31 people have received a net financial profit as a direct result of using Davidson's system. To top it off, in 2006, the Federal Trade Commission of the United States of America took court action against Davidson, and Davidson were found guilty of deceptive business practice in US courts. You can download an excerpt of the district judge's finding in your free resources section of this deadly mistake, showing how they were initially ordered to pay back $26 million in redress to customers. If you want to see that and are watching on YouTube, click the link you see on screen now to go straight to the Deadly Mistake number 1 page of the Inventor's Journey website, where all your free resources and downloads are available for this deadly mistake. These figures you see all appear to you and to all inventors when you sign up and disclose to Davidson. But I believe, especially given the fact they're disclosed in large blocks of text, that as many as 90 to 99% of inventors simply check the checkbox and move through without either reading or fully understanding the figures, and therefore they move forward excited about their dream, totally unaware that if they move ahead, they have a less than 1 in 1,000 chance of generating financial success using this company. So this is the sorcerer of the inventor's journey, the most dangerous character you'll encounter at the beginning of the inventor's journey, Mr. D, the founder of Davidson and Invention Land. He comes to you as a friend. He's a master of human and inventor psychology. He knows how to get you excited about your invention, and he's an extremely good salesman of an extremely bad product. He represents an extreme financial danger to you and to your invention. The money you waste with their company may knock you out of the inventor's journey altogether. Okay, so you've seen the figures of Davidson, and this is quite sobering stuff, which has probably changed your whole viewpoint of what's going on in this industry. And one of the jobs of the 7 Deadly Mistakes is to create a new platform of truth of how invention development and how this really works, how you're going to move forward. So I hope that this has changed or added to your understanding of this whole process and place. But if you think that this is a one-off, then unfortunately that's not the case. There's been severe litigation in this field. There's been companies shut down. There's been all kinds of things happening. You are in serious danger when it comes to invention development and promotion and entering your invention into some of these companies or entering into business with some of them. What we're going to look at now is a different company, and what I want to show you is a video from InventHelp which features George Foreman. Once we've gone through that, again, we'll go through the figures. I'll take you through them personally. You won't need a summary section for InventHelp because we're going to go through the figures much quicker for them. So let's quickly take a look at this video, freely available on YouTube. And we'll take a look at that now, of a promotional video from InventHelp featuring George Foreman.
Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? Hi, I'm George Foreman. People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can provide patent referrals and submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee your company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
So that's a promotional video for InventHelp featuring George Foreman. What I want to do now very, very quickly is go through the figures of InventHelp. And this is only going to take a couple of minutes. It's much, much more simple and much quicker. So let's take a look at that on screen now because we've got some disclosure figures for InventHelp. So as you can see, these are the disclosure figures for InventHelp, similar to how you saw for Davidson earlier. Again, these figures are shown by InventHelp themselves to inventors before the inventor enters into an agreement to use InventHelp. And as you can see, the inventor again needs to check the checkbox to confirm they've read and understood everything before proceeding. So these figures are from InventHelp themselves, and they show the period from 2008 to 2010. Before I start, I want to get a few things straight. Whilst we're about to see extreme low success rate figures, remember that Shine defines any success rate of less than 1 in 100 for an invention development or promotion service as an extreme low success rate. There are some things, first of all, that I want to give InventHelp credit for before we look at the less positive aspects. Firstly, InventHelp have implemented a comprehensive consumer disclosure policy to show and inform inventors of their success rates, and to make it clear they consider that inventors making purchases from their company are entering into a high-risk expenditure. They do make this very clear, and I believe they tell inventors several times before the inventor enters into an agreement with them. So that's thumbs up to InventHelp. At least they make it clear to you and all inventors that if you use their services, you have close to 0% chance of success, and we'll see that borne out in their statistics. So that's good that they warn inventors of this. Secondly, another good way about how InventHelp disclose is that the page and stats are set out very neatly and simply, making this page and these figures much easier for inventors to read and digest than Davidson's. So that's good and increases the likelihood that inventors will actually read through this. However, as we'll see, there is a slight issue in that, unlike Davidson's figures, we don't get a breakdown here of how many paid for each service, and that leaves us with a few question marks, which I'll explain as we go through this. Thirdly, InventHelp's success rate is not nearly as bad as Davidson's. Davidson's success rate is less than 1 in 1,000. InventHelp's success rate is still an extreme low success rate, but not nearly that bad. So whilst we're featuring these two companies, that is not intended to bracket together these two companies as if they are somehow the same. InventHelp's success rates are not as bad as Davidson's. Fourthly, InventHelp's marketing techniques and strategies are far more restrained and down to earth compared to Davidson's. Whereas Davidson's marketing is all about pumping up the excitement of the inventor, InventHelp's marketing is more calm and less exploitative of emotions. They simply say what they do, what you might need, and set themselves up as the solution. So I'd also say they are more responsible in terms of their marketing techniques than, for example, Davidson. All that said, let's take a look at these figures. So between 2008 and 2010, InventHelp states that they signed submission agreements with 4,756 clients. So that's a lot of inventors in just the time period between 2008 and 2010. In all that time, only 30 of those went on to receive more money than they paid InventHelp for these services. 30 out of 4,756. That's a success rate of less than 1 in 150 are generating a profit for inventors more than they pay. In fact, it's just a little less than 1 in 158, a success rate of 0.63%. What it seems to suggest is that in this time period, if you used InventHelp to move forward with your invention with these services, you had a 157 out of 158 chance of failing to generate more money than you paid them. InventHelp also seemed to have had a run-in with the Federal Trade Commission of the United States of America in 1994, where they apparently reached an out-of-court settlement with the FTC for $1.2 million. I can't 100% confirm that, but it is mentioned, as you can see, on various websites, including NBCnews.com, and the fact that InventHelp has not moved to have these websites taken down, or has not been able to, suggests that those reports are true. You may see InventHelp referred to on these web pages as Invention Submission Corporation, or ISC for short. That's their corporate name. They then trade under the name InventHelp. The Federal Trade Commission, amongst other things, protects consumers from unfair or deceptive business practices. They say they charge $780 in that time for a basic information package, and then $9,950 to $14,950 for their marketing, licensing, or promotion services. But we don't hear any more about what those services are, and we're left with a few questions. The first is whether all those 4,756 clients who signed what they call submission agreements were paying customers. I think we have to assume they were, because there are various websites showing figures of InventHelp that take the figures to mean this. And again, InventHelp does not seem to have taken these websites down, which suggests it is correct that all of the 4,756 were paying customers. You can Google InventHelp submission agreement or InventHelp success rates if you want to see InventHelp's figures on other websites. You'll see they're out there on quite a few. What's harder to understand from these figures is whether InventHelp consider the basic information package to be included as a submission agreement, or whether the term submission agreements does not include the basic information package and instead relates to the more expensive service or any services that are more expensive than the basic information package. Giving InventHelp the benefit of the doubt that the basic information package is considered to be a submission agreement, and using the conversion rates Davidson had from their less expensive service to their more expensive service as a guide, we could estimate, as a humble estimate, that InventHelp are turning over around $10 to $15 million from inventors like yourself per year in these figures. However, if the term submission agreements does not include the basic information package, and instead relates to the more expensive package or to services much more expensive than the basic information package, then the story could be very different, and that number could potentially be 5 or even 10 times higher. In other words, InventHelp could actually be turning over more money than Davidson per year. I cannot tell from these figures because there's not enough information, and they don't disclose in the detail that Davidson's figures did, where we saw how many customers paid for each service. But I will be contacting InventHelp to try to find that out, and have in fact tried to do that already without success. If InventHelp are watching, I invite them to disclose to me what products and services are included within the scope of the term submission agreements, and whether the basic information package is considered to be within the scope of that term, so that we can have full clarity as to what's going on here in terms of amount paid by inventors and percentage success rates achieved with reference to different services and payments made by inventors. The moment I have that information, I'll include it and at the very least annotate this video. If you've used InventHelp or Davidson or any other invention development and promotion company and want to contact Shine Enterprise for any reason, please do so via the email help@theinventorsjourney.com or via the contact page on theinventorsjourney.com. If you have samples of the work done by these companies, I'll be very interested in seeing that, and everything you disclose will be in full confidence. So as you can see, as an inventor, you find yourself in a very difficult situation here. We have an industry which is set up without doubt primarily to monetize you. It's not set up primarily to get you success with your invention, to study the art and work out how this all works. It's set up primarily to monetize you. And there's a lot of companies in this sector that are generating vast amounts of money from inventors like yourself and hardly getting any success for any inventors back. So we have a real problem in this industry. What I want to do in a second is show you your summary and your solutions for this deadly mistake. And the solution, if you're an inventor watching this, it's time to get excited, because the solution is a seminal moment, not just in the invention development industry, but in effect worldwide. This has never been done in any industry that I know of before, where a whole equation for how to do something has been solved. This, in a very small and I'll be humble way, is what to invention is what Einstein did with E equals mc squared. You're literally going to see the invention equation solved and exactly what you need to do to get perfect patent protection and to either license or crowdfund your invention, and it's going to be given to you on a plate. But before we go through the summary and the solutions for that, and please hold on for that, I want to give a quick message to Davidson and InventHelp. Davidson, InventHelp, if you're listening to this, I consider every single inventor in the world, anyone who comes up with an invention, an inventor. If you're listening right now, I consider you to be one of my people. So Davidson, InventHelp, I have a message for you. Downsize your business. Prepare your exit strategy. To inventors watching, we're now going to go through the summary and solutions of this deadly mistake. This is going to be a staggering moment which very literally will change your life. I know how important this invention is to you. Let's take a look at the summary, and then I'm going to show you the solution. It's really incredible. When you come up with your invention idea, the first thing you're going to do is go online and look for help with patenting it and moving it forward. That's the natural thing to do. Little do you know that this whole industry has been set up for decades to capitalize on this. And the companies you think are there most to help you have business models with statistics that prove they're set up primarily to monetize you and make money from you, not primarily to get you success with your invention. Most dangerous of all is the sorcerer, Mr. D, George Davidson, founder of Davidson and Invention Land. He plays on and exploits the excitement and dreams of inventors to turn over more than $50 million a year with a success rate of less than 1 in 1,000 of making inventors profit. His company was found guilty of deceptive business practice in 2006 after being taken to court by the Federal Trade Commission of the United States of America. And the figures we looked at showed that since 1989, only 31 inventors had made a profit as a direct result of their services. But even companies like InventHelp have extreme low success rates of less than 1 in 100 of generating profit for inventors. They also had a run-in with the Federal Trade Commission in 1994, apparently reaching an out-of-court settlement of more than $1 million. And their figures we looked at showed a less than 1 in 150 success rate at making inventors like you a profit. These are not the only ones, and at Shine, we consider all invention development and promotion companies to be part of the problem, not the solution. When you start out, it's tempting to think invention development and promotion companies are the solution to get you to invention success. It seems like the obvious solution. All of these companies, in one way or another, rely upon you believing that they're the solution, the bridge for getting you to invention success. But as you can see from the truth of their figures, using these companies almost guarantees failure. In the inventor's journey, we call this falling into the invention development and promotion black hole. Its gravitational pull is extremely strong, and if your invention falls down here, your journey's more than likely over before it's even begun. Now it's time for you to find out the solution. So before I show you the solution, I have to tell you a little bit more about myself. My name's Jethro, and I'm effectively the middleman between you and your best life, the middleman between you and the power to shine. For you, that means perfect patent protection and licensing or crowdfunding your invention to market. My background is as a classically trained scholar in ancient Greek philosophy and ancient Greek language. As you can tell, I'm from England, but most of my clients in this industry are US inventors, and I know most of the trouble in this industry is in America. So if you're a US inventor, I really hope this stuff is going to help you. I was educated at a very well-known and quite strange school called Eton College, where Prince William was there at the same time, and where 19 prime ministers of the UK have gone, including incumbent Prime Minister David Cameron and quite a few other people. My background academically was strong, and that's important for you to know, not to say that that's important for me, but I just want you to know that the stuff you're going to get here is going to be very, very impressive on that level. I found out I got injured very badly and went to an invention development company, and it just all went very badly wrong, and it became clear they'd done things in the wrong order. It cost me a huge amount of money, basically broke the whole situation. On top of that, I got very seriously ill in the middle of that and thought my life was pretty much over. Then out of nowhere, suddenly this concept Shine happened in my life, and I was suddenly renewed and invigorated, and I realized I had to master patenting because I couldn't afford a patent attorney anymore. That's why in the 7 Deadly Mistakes, you're going to see a lot of technology about patenting. I've got huge amounts of knowledge to give you, information, help, programs, products, services. You're never going to get better than you get here. As that happened, I then happened upon a website for a company called Davidson. I saw their video and it was very jazzy. It kind of looked quite impressive. And I remember seeing a video very similar to the one you just saw. And I thought, well, maybe the company I went to, maybe these US companies are just much better at this. After all, the US is better at a lot of stuff. I know the US isn't the best at everything, but they are the best at quite a few things. So I thought maybe this company's just a lot better than the one I went to. Then I went through to their disclosure screens and I read the disclosure and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I actually phoned one of my friends and asked him to take a look so that I could check whether this was real. And at that point, I already was aware that I had to help this industry with patenting, and I'd already had things go through my head, this phrase patents untranslated, which became this family of programs that I've released at Shine Enterprise. That was already there, so the seed had already begun. But then when I saw that, something else changed, and I realized I had to change this industry and effectively take the whole thing and make every single inventor in the world aware of what's going on. In my view, these companies like Davidson should have a screen like you see on screen right now, where they should have a massive number in red, where they have to by law disclose their success rate to inventors. And they should also have a checkbox, not just generally checking, but actually a box which says something like, I am aware that I'm about to enter into an agreement with a company that has less than 1 in 1,000 success rate at generating me a profit with my invention, or something to that end. I believe in the future, when Shine becomes the authority in this industry, which is hopefully going to be with your help, and your position is very important here to the future of this industry and to your invention, we can maybe move forward with the US Senate or wherever it needs to be and get these laws put in place. And that will be one of the final death blows. There are 2 death blows to be dealt to these companies, which will literally eliminate them from this sector in the future. One of them I'm not going to disclose right now because I don't want them to know about it, but the second one is what you see there. And I think every inventor in the world, I hope you'll agree with me, really deserves to know this success rate before they start, and not in a block where they're going to check straight through. We all need to know. Anyway, that's my story. For 3.5 years, I've worked on my inventions, and I've become during that time a professional product designer. You'll see a little bit of my work on screen right now. A lot of my work, unfortunately, is confidential, so I can't show it to you, but there's some really cool stuff I've been working on and doing product design on. This just happened almost out of nowhere. I wasn't a designer when I started. I just went to an invention development company, and this seemed to happen as I was going through the process. I also became a patent specialist, and I got very good after about the first year and a half, but I was lucky based in the UK that our patent office allows you to prosecute patent applications very, very quickly in months rather than years at the USPTO. This is the secret, by the way, behind some of the amazing patent services, not services, on the inventor's journey, such as the Lightspeed patent package, which can get your patent allowed at a patent office for under $2,000 and get you US, UK, maybe even worldwide protection, sometimes saving tens of thousands of dollars and not even needing a patent attorney. Very clever stuff, and I hope you'll come aboard Shine Enterprise so I can show you that. It will blow your mind. So after about 1.5 years, I became good, but after about 3 years, and now 3.5 years, I probably started in about 2011, getting kind of really into patenting, maybe 2010. So maybe 4 years in now, or a bit more, I've become elite, and I actually work with patent attorneys personally, and in terms of certain aspects of the process, I seem to have taken on a level which in some cases actually goes beyond patent attorneys. So you've got me in your back pocket right here. I'm now here to help you. You've got someone who is comparable with, or in some cases supersedes in some aspects, patent attorneys. You've got someone who's inside the skin of the patenting industry, knows how to do this stuff. And the most important thing is, unlike patent attorneys who are going to confuse you really badly when they talk to you, I can help you and talk to you in a way as an inventor that you understand, because I've been where you are. I was totally confused by patenting, by the way. If you're really confused about patenting, do not worry. I had a really good academic background. I never dropped a grade at a major examination in my life in the British educational system, and yet patenting was totally confusing. So it's totally normal. Hang with me for a few months, and without you even realize it, you'll start to understand this stuff. You won't even need to think. It's just going to be the way we talk. So over this 3.5 years, something else came into being. I knew I had to help this industry, but also as a philosopher, my background is ancient Greek philosophy, and a philosopher for me is a lover of the truth. I became very embroiled in this desire to understand how this worked, and I can't explain it, but it's almost like Shine, this force, was driving me to understand what was going on. And as we went through this process, I gradually unpicked various parts, and at the beginning it was quite markety because I thought I got to sell this, and I thought I had to market stuff. But as time went on, it became less markety and more of a scientific endeavor, where I started to work out and critically analyze what was going on with invention development. The fact that I was an inventor, but also a product designer, because design is ultimately, in most cases, what's going to define the success of your product. It's not the strength of the invention concept, it's how good that product looks and feels and makes someone feel in their experience as a user. So because I'm a product designer, I understood about product development, because I'm an elite patent specialist, so I have all this crazy knowledge about the whole patenting system and some services you won't ever be able to get from patent attorneys. It gave me all these different ways that I was able to understand this process. And based on the philosophy I worked out, I effectively solved the equation, and the product is the inventor's journey. And what I want to do now is talk about that to you, because the inventor's journey is your solution to this deadly mistake and these massive problems in the invention development industry, and these millions of inventors have been drawn into what at Shine we call the invention development and promotion black hole. I don't want you to fall into that black hole. I want you to move forward purposefully. So let's take a look at that solution. Okay, so the inventor's journey is something which, it's not something I've developed, it's the truth. It's the truth I found about how invention development works. It's a 10-step system as we speak right now, and it comes with this promise. Whereas all those other companies, you saw those extreme low success rates of below 1%, you go to these companies, you have literally next to no chance of succeeding. And the whole way this industry works right now, you have what seems to be, probably rounded up or rounded down in this case, you probably have a 0% chance of succeeding. It's really that crazy what's going on right now. Maybe 1%, but it's probably 0 from what I've seen. The inventor's journey comes with a promise which you won't see anywhere else, and this is where it's time for you to get a little bit excited about what's going on here. If you have a truly commercially viable invention, and it is truly perfectly patentable, in other words, there's something unique about it which can block out all competitors if it was patented properly, and I'm going to show you all about how to do that, then if you complete every step of the inventor's journey as you see, and you'll see it numbered, if you complete every step in sequence, it is 100% guaranteed that you will get to invention success. And at Shine Enterprise, and the inventor's journey, we define invention success for you as two things. 1, perfect patent protection, and 2, getting your invention to market either via licensing or via crowdfunding. So there's two ways. You can license and get some other companies to bring it to market, or you can crowdfund and maybe build an empire yourself. And that's a really, really good option as well, especially with Kickstarter, has a better than 1 in 3 success rate of campaigns. We'll deal with that later on in the inventor's journey. So you have all this technology at your disposal right now. And the first thing I want to make you aware of is below this in your solutions section for this deadly mistake. And if you're watching on YouTube, you're still on YouTube right now, you'll probably see a link on screen. You can click that and it will take you straight to the solutions section on the official Inventors Journey website. You'll get access to all the other deadly mistakes as well and some other stuff. So click on that link if you're on YouTube now. If you're watching on the website, below you're going to see your solutions. One of them is a totally free ebook which I've written for you, and this is to realign your mind. As you can see, you're probably in a state of flux right now with all the crazy stuff going on which you've seen about these invention development and promotion companies. This ebook is called Navigating the Maze. Its full name is Navigating the Maze of Invention Development. You sit on the precipice of this amazing journey. This invention is a part of yourself which you want to bring to the world, hopefully a part of a better world in the future. But it also poses a massive question and challenge to you, which is, how do I do this? And the solution, as you've seen, is not those invention development and promotion companies. The solution is the inventor's journey. You need to navigate this maze, but the really good thing is this has already been done for you. And in this ebook, I'm going to show you your destination, which you need to reach. I'm going to talk to you about your navigation, and we're going to go through the navigation tools and treasure which are available to you on the inventor's journey. And the first piece of weaponry and gift which I want to give you is the Inventor's Journey Map, the full name Inventor's Journey Map to Invention Success. This may not look like much to you right now, but trust me, this is literally your destiny in a circle. This is very, very heavy and advanced technology and a seminal moment in this industry. I'm not here, and Shine is not here to take market share in this industry. We're not here to take 10, 20% of what's going on in this industry. I'm here to totally take this industry, change the whole thing, and have every single inventor in the world from this point on and in the future knowing about Shine and knowing that this is the way it's done. This is an equation in front of your eyes which has been solved. Literally, the invention equation has been solved, and this is the equivalent in invention of E equals MC squared that you're looking at. Again, the promise, if you do everything in step, you're guaranteed to get a perfect patent and license or crowdfund your invention to market. So what I want to do for you is actually take you through this. The other thing, by the way, in that ebook, you're going to see other stuff which we've got as well, other stuff which you're going to need, which will become available to you during the journey. So there's really cool stuff. And at exactly the right moment, you're going to get exactly what you need. But what I want to do in order to get you moving forward and get you moving towards where you're trying to get to, your chosen destination, which is invention success, is I want to take you through this personally. And in order to do that, I need two things from you. Firstly, I'm going to take you through this in terms of a video program. So every step you see of the inventor's journey, I'm going to give you a video, and you're going to hang out with me. Literally, a lot of time it's just going to be me on my sofa. You're going to chill out with me, and we're going to go through every single step. And I'm literally going to show you the future of your invention. I'm going to show you this in action with my first invention, the first invention of Shine, Dish Shine Next Generation Shoe Polisher. And you're actually going to see, I patented this already, but you're going to see the inventor's journey in action going through each step. And if you've already done certain steps of the inventor's journey, don't worry about that. Maybe you've done that with providers, maybe you've already got a patent, or you've already built your invention yourself. No problem. That's all taken care of. We can go through that, check off the boxes which you've done, and then we return to the first one you have to do first. So I'm going to take you through all this with examples, not just my invention, Dish Shine, but other examples of inventors who have worked with Shine, taking them through the journey. And you're also going to be able to do this. And if you've got stuff done already, you're going to be able to see the vital points that you have to complete, the steps you have to complete, and check those off the box and get them done. Now, in order to do this and give you this massive technology, which is the way forward for you, remember, the invention, development, and promotion companies are very tempting. It's very tempting to think they're the bridge to you getting to invention success, but you've seen what's going on in that industry, and you now know that the solution for you to get to invention success is the inventor's journey. But in order to do this and move this forward, I need two things for you. The first is absolute trust. One of my favorite films when I was a kid was The Karate Kid. And Mr. Miyagi was one of the greatest characters, a classic mentor figure and force for good. And he also had this slightly mystical side to him. Remember how he used to be able to kind of heal Daniel just by rubbing his hands together and putting weird stuff on him. So that was a classic force for good character. But he did ask, he told Daniel if he was going to teach him the sacred art of karate, that martial art, that he required one thing of Daniel. And that was that he required, you do as I say, I teach you, I'm going to teach you, you learn, and I teach you, no questions. He said, don't ask me any questions. And with you, I need absolute trust right now. I need you to believe in me and put trust in me. Otherwise, I can't lead you. And I have this requirement of you. I say, you do. No questions. I've studied this for 3.5 years and more. And the truth is, the inventor's journey is a lot like hitting a light switch. You hit the light switch in your room right now and the light goes on. You probably don't know, unless you're an engineer, how that works and all the wiring that goes behind it. And you don't need to know about how the inventor's journey works. You just need to know you hit the inventor's journey switch just like a light switch. And if your invention is truly perfectly patentable and commercially viable, then you get those two things and you get to invention success if you do what it says. So I need you to trust what I'm saying, do what I say, and no questions, because then I can get you where you need to go fast and I can change this industry and do what I need to achieve in this industry a lot faster. The second thing is I need you to come into my place and I need you to come aboard my ship. My ship is called Shine Enterprise, and you might have seen in some videos I'm known as the captain of Shine Enterprise. This is where I set things up for you and literally put your future on a plate. The whole inventor's journey is set up for you there. You'll get your free resources, the 7 deadly mistakes, beginner's patent search, those are all available there. Program trials of patenting programs which I've created, which a lot of inventors have used to get patent pending. Services which interweave the programs, services which I can provide to you, more about the perfect patent search, arguably the best patent search service in the whole industry right now. And you're going to get access to all of these things aboard Shine Enterprise, but this is not publicly available. You need to buy a ticket and get your official login details to come aboard Shine Enterprise. So once you're aboard Shine Enterprise, I'm going to take you through this video series, all the steps, and show you your future, and then you're going to follow what I say. You're going to do exactly what I say, and we're going to change the whole world and change the whole industry, because your invention this isn't just about your future. I know how important this invention is to you, and there's a real deep emotional need in you, which maybe you can't even put into words or explain, and I know because I feel that and have felt that as an inventor myself, and I feel that now with Shine Enterprise. But the truth is, your invention is more important than that, because the whole future, if your invention is something which is good for the world and either makes the world more effective, more fun, cooler, or better, or just makes a better world in some way, then if you think about it, it's not just your future which is at stake, it's the future of the world and that perfect future world which you're trying to create. This is a really serious endeavor and challenge, and I'm really looking forward to teaching you this martial art, this sacred art of invention development. And remember, this art of invention development is the art that holds the key to your destiny. So that's another piece of information I want you to walk away with. You now know what the art that holds the key to your destiny is, and that art is invention development. It's now your job to master that art, and I'm going to mentor and guide you through the process of attaining mastery. You're going to know how everything works going around the inventor's journey before you even start your first step, and that's the magic. So in order to come aboard Shine Enterprise, you'll see below there's some options. There's a one-off payment plan, and the payment plan for that to buy a ticket and come aboard is about the equivalent of a patent search. In fact, some places probably charge more for a patent search. Now, if you think about it, if you were going to get a patent search, and now you know the problems in this industry, especially when you go through deadly mistake number 2 and see the problems with patent searching, it's much better for you to come aboard Shine Enterprise and get the inventor's journey rather than going ahead with that patent search, because the patent search is just one thing and the inventor's journey is, of course, a huge amount more important than that. The other thing to bear in mind is that there's also a monthly payment option, so you can pay in smaller payments. I think the first payment of $369 today to come aboard. But this is the key thing. If you were thinking, hey, I'm going to go for a patent search in another company, the problem is, if you pay for that patent search, you don't get your money back once you started. But with the inventor's journey, it comes with, and coming aboard Shine Enterprise and buying your ticket, it comes with a full 30-day, no questions asked, money back guarantee. I don't want you getting anything which does not massively move your life and your invention forward. So if you get the inventor's journey and come aboard Shine Enterprise and don't like it, or there's something just wrong, or it's just not right for you for whatever reason, at any time within 30 days, you can just email to help@theinventorsjourney.com, and no questions asked, you'll be refunded instantly. So that means that there's absolutely no risk to you moving forward. It's like moving forward with no risk financially at all. Whereas if you go to another company and pay for a patent search, even if they charge you half price, for the first payment, you're not going to get that money back. So this is actually a safer financial option for you coming aboard Shine Enterprise, getting the inventor's journey right now. As one last thing I want to mention, if you're not quite ready for the inventor's journey, you can get that ebook which you see on your options, Navigate the Maze, and Navigating the Maze of the Invention Journey, where we'll go through all those things together. But I really highly recommend that you jump aboard right now and come aboard Shine Enterprise. This is my vehicle, really, for changing this whole industry, and me doing what is important to me as your invention is to you. Of course, I've got my own inventions and we'll see that, but Shine Enterprise for me over the last 3 years has become something more important than that, and I believe very strongly that this is how this whole industry is going to go. I really hope you enjoyed deadly mistake number 1. As you can see, this is pretty full on. The rest of the deadly mistakes won't be quite as full on, apart from deadly mistake number 6, getting a bad patent. That's a very important one, but they will give you a background and very, very important starter before you start the inventor's journey. So make sure, whether you're aboard Shine Enterprise or not, you get all of the 7 deadly mistakes before starting the inventor's journey, and then hit the button, grab your ticket, come aboard, and let me show you how to do this. I cannot wait. It's going to be very, very interesting. Take care and good luck with your invention.